Namaste. Grand rising to you all. Beautiful day. Let me just get my banners up and we'll begin. Thank you for your patience this morning. So today, good morning to Mary Beth, and I see Anne Marie is here. Welcome. Good evening. So I said yesterday that I was going to walk my talk, and so I put together a 5-card, and look how pretty it looks on my table. Good morning, Laura. I put together a 5-deck, let's call it a mashup deck. And I was laughing this morning as I was shuffling and trying to getting it all sort of evened out. It's quite a chore, actually. Shuffling 5 decks together, making sure they're evenly spread out, but I think I accomplished what I set out to do. So I have on the table, and I'm going to do my message this morning from this particular deck, and I thought it was kind of interesting with Mercury going retrograde, how this is a time where reflection and slowing down of decisions, interpretations is kind of important. And then I'm thinking, yeah, this is kind of sassy, saucy Sagittarius energy, being bold and doing something like this. Now, this is not a tarot practice that this is something that it's fun and it gets you to think beyond your comfort zone. And that is why I suggested this as a tarot tip yesterday. Sometimes we just really need to step beyond the familiar, and that discomfort can bring great insight. Okay, so let me know if you tried this, and or if you do try it in the future, and how that works out for you. Good morning. I see others coming in here as well too. Hello. So Amelia's here from Finland, and Hirsch, namaste. Welcome to you. Tina from Sweden, Saskia from Greece. Casey, warrior girl, I believe, from the East Coast of the US. And Donna Riedler, hello, namaste to you. Okay. The decks that I am using, by the way, this is the a deck I got this summer, just the Hilda deck. I have Celia Mailsville's Lily White. This is the first edition of the Wild Unknown, the one that I didn't color. And this is Future Ancestor. Is that all of them? Oh, I also have I use the Suit of Cups from the Light Seer Tarot. Yeah. And so it was not easy to find same cardstock. And there's some that didn't fit here really well. So, but I did pretty well. They fit together. All right. On this I was going to say 23rd. It's not the 23rd. I'm 10 days ahead of myself. 13th day of December 2023. That feels like a number I should calculate. 12, 13, 2023, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 4 is 6, and 8 is 14. So it's a temperance day. Let this quirky idea bring inspiration to each and every one who is following along on this journey. May this inspire in some unexpected way, and as always we ask these messages be in the highest for the greatest good, and that no harm be done, so be it. And we begin with Lily White, a card of fullness, abundance. Yeah, birthday present, yes. This series is not meant to send you spending, 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 but if you feel inspired. So this is one of Sadhana's favorite decks. Haven't seen it much on my channel lately because I used it so much for so long. This is a card of the message here, I feel, is one of you can't, I don't know how to say this. You can't undo connection. Even, even sadhana, if you try to take the tarot apart and deconstruct it, it's still going to come together. We can't avoid acknowledging all the bits and pieces that fit together so beautifully. As above, so below, as within, so without. The ripples of our energy that affect the tiniest of creatures that are around us, the way that the plants influence our lives and vice versa. We truly are all connected, and if we acknowledge this concept of reciprocity and never forget how potent this concept of reciprocity is, we will find greater happiness and much more meaning in life as well, too. Mm. And this is a theme, I'm going to be writing about the Magician card today, and I'm behind in my, I'll talk a little bit more about this later in a tarot challenge that I'm doing. And was reading a few guidebooks at the wee hours this morning, and both of them talked about the magician in a very different way. And as I look at this card, I'm feeling that same sort of energy where if we feel our feet on the ground and we allow that energy to extend into the earth and acknowledge what it takes to support us. And if we allow our energy body to expand and connect to the ether, to the Akash, everything is available to us. It's really quite incredible. Ace of Wands and Nine of Cups. What a beautiful message this morning. Okay. Perhaps our greatest fulfillment will be found in these kinds of connections. I love the open-heartedness of this Nine of Cups. Let's open our heart to life. Let's open our heart to connections. And with that magic wand there, and that idea that this also is something that it's important to act upon. And of course, environmental things come to mind, but there might be another way that this will, because these are everyday readings. So let's bring this back to our life right now, every day, in this moment. Pick up your magic wand, and what's one thing that you can do that truly would open your heart in the name of reciprocity? That's right, Donna. I think Donna is using these two decks for drop ends M78. Okay, I think that's a beautiful invitation to know that you do matter. Each and every one of us has the power to, has enough energy to make a difference on this planet. And it is fulfilling. It is fulfilling to us in every way, spiritually, physically, mentally. Nine of Cups also, when I see that card, I would never put Nine of Cups and Fool together, but there is a leap of faith to choosing happiness. There is a leap of faith to choosing connection. I am not alone. Look, look at the plants, the creepy crawlies, the four-leggeds that are around me. I am not alone. I have a responsibility to act on and to build the energy of this amazing environment that is around me. Mm. Love it. Love it. Okay. So today I decided to share with you and just talk for a few minutes about some of my favorite multi-deck creators. And I went through my tarot oracle cases and I made a list, and I was just thinking about the tendency that many readers have. So they have a favorite deck from a creator, and as soon as that creator makes something else, they jump on the bandwagon and they want to collect everything in the series from that creator. I think there's a danger in that, because often not every, I shouldn't say that, but I was going to say not every deck has the same integrity that that first deck that you loved did. And I think that we all have favorite art and art styles and the way that certain creators interpret the cards. And so there's just a few names that I want to acknowledge. And there is really, there's a difference between decks that expand within a certain theme, like, for example, Kelly Burton's Journey of the Bee decks. Those, I never intended to purchase the Keeper of the Sacred Bee, because I had Journey of the Sacred Bee and the Oracle. And there's something about her decks that, and I think it's the connection with the bees. And I was also told something in a past life reading that it was really important for me to connect with bees and so on. But I've really enjoyed working with those decks. And in the same way, I was thinking of James Eads decks, the way that they all kind of speak together and they're part of a unit. But there are also amazing deck creators that have, or artists that have participated in many decks, like Lisa Hunt. And I think Joanna Powell Colbert has done something really special with her art style and the way that she has penciled in photographs. And I absolutely love the energy of her decks. While and honestly, since I did that deep dive with the herb crafters, it's been very, very special to me. And I think that through my deep dive with the herb crafters, I learned something about tarot in general, and it really got me to think about more weavings of these decks. And I trimmed my copy after the deep dive was done. I do have two copies of this deck, one trimmed and untrimmed, and this I've done a lot of deep dives on my channel, and this one really sort of changed things for me. I don't like the color that I picked for the edging, but such is life. And then, another person, and I did an interview with her this year, and that is Emily Carding. They are I love their edginess. And I did a workshop on the I believe I did two workshops. And and thanks to Jonathan for that. He pointed those out to me because I've always loved Tarot of the She, and Emily created the Transparent Oracle and the Transparent Tarot, and those really opened up something for me. And I have, or had multiple decks from Dame Darcy, as well as MJ Coulinane. And, another person that I rarely see her decks on YouTube is Robin Cole. Robin Cole's Beautiful Rebellion is an outstanding deck, as is her deck that is called Emerging from Darkness, which I've shared a few times. So she came to mind. Patrick Valenza, Mel Meline, Chris Ann Donnelly deserves mentioning, as well as Cedar McLeod, Kim Kranz. We are truly, truly blessed with a variety of deck creators that have really given so much to this body of work that we have to share and to work with. And there is one that I haven't mentioned, and I was wondering if I could say that I had a favorite multi-deck creator. Like, what is my number one favorite multi-deck creator? And I think this is I think I'm sharing this with you because of the unique and profound energy that these decks offer. And I have not used, it's funny, I don't have very many, I don't think I have any erotic decks in my collection. And this one, I was surprised. I purchased this, it was on sale a long time ago, and it has that lovely Usi cardstock. Let's back up just a little bit. And I love the coloring, and of course I will be including this deck in next year's Marseille Pip journey. But it's so fun, and I knew that I wouldn't be disappointed, because when does Usi ever disappoint? So I have this, I've had it for a while, but a new Usi deck. Mary Beth was part of this. I did a long deep dive of this deck in my Facebook group, and I chose a card every week and really nerded out on the science of it all. And this is a brilliant deck for kind of what I was talking about before, and that is, so you draw the gold card and think about the number, right? The anatomic number of gold. That's not the right word. Atomic number of gold, the atomic weight. You can think about the metaphor of gold, and then also dive into the mythology, because there's mythology that is a part of all of this as well too. And I absolutely loved my journey with this particular deck. And I have the Supra as well as Pagan Otherworlds. And I believe Pagan Otherworlds was my first Usi deck, and I didn't purchase it. It was gifted to me by Isabel, who was taking one of my yoga classes. And when I received this deck in hand, I cannot tell you how surprised I was at the experience. And I love that their cardstock is always the same luscious quality. Like these decks just don't disappoint. They are just full of, they are very rabbit holey, if that's an adjective. Um, and I have, so I'm just gonna carry on with this Usi theme, and I'm not meaning to send you to, to Usi to go shopping or anything, but I I I love quality books. My I just love sitting next to my library, my little library, and um, touching touching books. And this is something else that they do really, really well. And I don't have a book for this one, but I do have the book for the Supra, as well as for the Materia Prima. And oh my goodness, this book. Why is there a page here? Yeah, so just so you know, Usi books are destructible. Um, and one of the things I did on this journey, you can see there's an Eight of Pentacles down in the corner here, was that I connected to the mythology and also spent some time, not on every page. I guess I stopped writing in here and did it in my Excel spreadsheet. Was attempting to find a tarot connection to each of the oracles, because there was just so much in each of those cards, so many places to draw from and extend the web of metaphor. So yeah. So I actually 3 days I've been sitting with this, thinking about who is my favorite multi-deck creator and why. And of course, I didn't even mention Celia Melville. I've had Lenormand and Oracle and Tarot of hers. So I think Celia Melville would be right up there, as far as Usi, as well with Usi. So yeah, so that is favorite. Okay, now today's tarot tip. I mentioned, and so I'm giving a shout out here to Esther at Mindful Tarot, and many of you are doing the Mindful Tarot Drop M78. This is an acronym created by Esther. And I have done many tarot challenges before, many of them. Tarot Gratitude Challenge. I did a Tarot Compassion Challenge some years back. I have done Ethany's challenges. I've done lots of them. And this particular one is a little more challenging because it requires thought and writing. And you don't necessarily have to share it. Many people are doing it without sharing it, but there's a commitment to sharing your work as well too. So my tarot tip of the day is to commit to a tarot course, to commit to a tarot challenge, and to truly participate in it. There is, of course, a pressure to show up, and that pressure might simply be to put your offering on Instagram every single day. But it really does something to shift your ability to read and your connections with reading. And there's some great. I will come back and comment on a couple of things in the chat. It's truly remarkable what that does. And I look at myself, who is very busy teaching tarot all the time, reading. You would think that but there's little place to grow and to expand, but that is so not true. I have I'm so surprised at some of the things that I have put to paper in this tarot challenge. And that's because I've just let it go, let it expand. And this is an accumulation of near 30 years of reading and sharing and teaching and finding new ways and new paths and new journeys. And so this isn't it's the putting out that will really make a difference to your reading. If you don't put it out, then you hide back in this little corner. And it's the sharing and the discussing and the offering that really makes a difference. And in a way, I'm sorry that I am retiring my courses. And my courses are all now going to they're all pre-recorded. So I will not be offering any more live Zoom Tarot Foundations 1 and stuff like that, because I'm sort of stepping back. My energy is shifting. I will be on YouTube for a long time, but there was truly something remarkable to the connections and the discussion and the sharing. And the panic that some of you had when I forced you into little rooms in Zoom and made you interact and do readings for each other, that is a level that is, it's going to push you in a new way, new things. And I affectionately look at Mary Beth's name here in the chat, and I think of times I've said things to Mary Beth like, "You can do better. I expect more. Let's," and those kinds of comments that I've made out of love, and out of not so much challenge, but let's jump out of the little white book and do this more thoroughly and more in a more connected way. Yeah. Thank you, Saskia. So yes, amen to the challenge, says Kenton. Kenton is, I met Kenton during COVID. He was there just about every Wednesday night in the Facebook group, and it was really brilliant connecting with you. Mary Beth says there's a reason these things are called a challenge. Mm-hmm. Challenges are so good for us. And Donna, I do not have the chemistry of tarot. No, I do not. And yes, you are so right. There are so many options. And I think it's also important I don't buy a lot of decks anymore. There were years where it's embarrassing to say the number of decks that came into my library, and it's a lot. If you're not absorbing the content that is offered in your new decks, why are you getting more? Honestly, you're not going to get, if you're thinking you're investing and you're going to sell them, you're not going to get the money back, even from expensive decks. There's just the market is just flooded with tarot decks. So be selective and be thorough. And I think that's why I'm saying try a challenge and commit to a challenge. Find a inspiring content creator and follow them and take their course. There's so many of them out there. And surprise yourself. Okay? Study. Thank you so much. I also saw Saskia said she mentioned Silicon Way, and yes, there is another deck creator who has a lot of decks out there. So have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow for day 14. Namaste.